of council present. At this time, I'll inform you that in the mayor's absence, I will be chairing the council meeting tonight as acting mayor. It also should inform you that early this morning, I was informed that the mayor has opted to use up the rest of his vacation for the remainder of this week. And so that puts me in the role of acting mayor for the remainder of his term. That said, it's a role that I'm happy to fulfill. And so tonight I will chair the council meeting and we'll go from there. That said, we will do a roll call vote on each item as we have been. And we'll begin tonight's meeting with the well, Leslie, did you want to take attendance first?
We can start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Council members, if any of you have open microphones that are not speaking, if you could mute yourselves. Same thing with call-ins, either from the public or call-ins. Stakeholders that are calling in, if your microphones are active, please mute them. We're getting a bunch of feedback from you. Okay, so with that, I'll call the meeting to order. Today's date is Tuesday, April 14th, 2020, and a quorum of the council is present. We'll start tonight's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I will now call the roll. Please state if you are present. Peckham?
Pat, do you need to say that you're here?
Did he get muted?
He's muted.
Somebody's got him.
Unmuted. I am present.
Thank you. Martins?
Here.
Nutting?
Aye.
Neal?
Aye, and could I just say one thing? I'm not sure who's speaking right now, but you're really, really loud and breaking up really badly. It might be too close to your microphone, so it's really overpowering, and maybe just back off. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is that better?
Still really loud. And Lisa is very quiet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gisselman?
Here.
McElhaney? McElhaney?
Here.
Rasmussen?
Here.
Lawrence?
Here.
Herbst?
Here.
Tao?
Here.
Smith? Smith is not present.
Okay. Normally at this time, we would offer proclamations. There are none for this evening. The next item on our agenda is for public comment. We'll recognize that during the regular council meeting, public comment happens at the beginning of the meeting and not within each individual item. We're going to keep with that tonight. We have one resident who has registered for public comment who I believe will be in the chamber. At this time, we'll recognize Deb Ryan for public comment. Deb, if you'd like to come up to the podium and offer your remarks. And try to limit your remarks to 3 minutes or less by council rule, and then we'll continue with the business meeting.
She is not here.
Okay, let the record show then that Ms. Ryan is not in attendance. There was no other public comment requested. With that,
Lisa, this is Mary Ann. I was just hoping to take a few minutes to recognize all of the customer service staff for the outstanding work they did in managing the very stressful and dynamic election. I also want to recognize our poll workers and the outstanding job that they did in face of all of the hazards and concerns. recognize the National Guard. We could not have done the election without the National Guard. They were just outstanding workers for us. And, you know, even though the customer service team really went out of their way working, they were here early in the morning, late at night, trying to get all of the workload done. We really could not have done it with a lot of other departments. The police department had staff that were working for us nearly full-time. We had a lot of other departments who helped out. Public Works, of course, made the sneeze guards for us. It really was a team effort, and really, I think we need to appreciate all of the work that that everyone did, and the amount of stress that everyone was under during that election process. So I definitely am very appreciative to the team for the work that they did.
As are we. I've received feedback from a number of citizens, and also from a few council members that were very grateful for the fact that the elections ran the way they did, given the chaotic nature and, you know, the fact that some of the elements surrounding the election and the lead up to it were not only confusing, but kind of brewed the perfect storm for everyone tasked with carrying out a normal election. So definitely would like to express my thanks to those folks as well.
Madam President, not Tom Neal's hand is up as well.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
All right, thank you. This is just, again, we have an issue with volume right now. At least I do, and it's really pretty, dramatic in that whenever seemingly somebody else is talking, it's just blowing out the speaker like nobody's business. And then when Lisa, who's running the meeting, speaks, it's like she sounds like she's like next door. I don't know, Lisa, what you're using for your, for your audio, but it's I don't even know what you just said in your
Okay,
last, statements.
It's iPad's normal audio.
Yeah, you are Rick, like almost I can't hear you at all. Unless I turn my thing right way up, then I can hear you. But then everybody else is blasting out and distorting really badly. I don't know why.
I had to adjust mine up and down as well. The volume from the microphones in the chamber is much louder than we are at home.
I can hardly hear you.
Okay, is it any better now?
It's the same. Are you using your iPad's microphone?
Yep.
This is Becky. I am having the same problem Tom is. I cannot hear anybody or somebody's blasting, and this is the only meeting that I've had so much feedback. All I'm hearing is high-pitched noises constantly. I don't know how we're going to go through a meeting because I can't understand anybody because of the feedback. What's different?
Do we have open mics in the chamber that are reflecting? Okay, it looks like everyone who is not speaking is muted with the exception of Leslie and myself. Has anything improved?
It's me again, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hi. Now I can hear you pretty well, but would Leslie please say something?
Leslie, could you offer a comment so Tom can test his sound?
Yep, so we turned off the microphone for a
All
second.
right. That's a problem right there.
Yeah.
Leslie, you are blowing us out of the water.
Can you use a different?
I need to turn up my volume to hear Lisa well, and then that's fine. I hear her well. But when you talk, it is blowing it up. I mean, really badly. You need to get way far away from the microphone. Way away.
Okay, is that any better?
Way away. I'm talking, get away from it.
How about Merrill?
Okay,
Is it anyone that speaks, Tom, that's in the room?
it's everyone in the chamber.
Could we just go around we just go around to everybody for an audio test? I mean, can you all hear me okay?
We
I can
can,
hear you,
please
Tom.
stand by.
Okay, great. I'll take myself off and let's have everybody else do an audio test.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me? Or, I'm still hearing all that feedback. I don't know what's causing the feedback.
This is Mary. Can all of you hear me?
Very
Okay,
well.
thank you.
Yeah, we're good, Mary. Okay. All right, Pat's mic's open. Pat, can you hear us okay?
Pretty well. Having somewhat of the same issue that Tom is, but I don't think quite as bad.
Okay.
Mary Ann was really lasting, as well as Leslie.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to speak up when I'm talking, and we'll ask everyone in the chamber to back up from the mics a little bit. We'll see how that works. Okay, we're gonna try and work our way through here. First on our agenda is the consent agenda, beginning with file number 20-0301 and ending with file number 20-0108. Resolution from Public Health and Safety approving and denying various licenses as indicated. Do we have a motion to accept the consent agenda? Motion by Peckham, is there a second?
I'll second. This is Mary.
Second by Tao. Clerk will call the roll.
Okay. Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda tonight is mayor's appointments. There are none to offer up this evening. That brings us to file number 20-0404, the resolution from the Economic Development Committee supporting the application of Gorman Companies to the Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority, WHEDA, for low-income housing tax credits for the renovation of the landmark apartment. Committee action approved 4-0. The fiscal impact is not available. The Community Development Authority is providing a loan for the renovation of the property.
Tom Neal, I move to approve.
Motion from Neil, is there a second?
Second by Lawrence.
Second by Lawrence. Is there discussion or questions from council members?
Madam President, Mary Tao has her hand up.
Okay, we'll recognize Mary Tao. Go ahead.
Lisa, I don't have anything regarding the resolution, but can Leslie mute her phone when you're speaking? Because all I hear is just so much feedback when you're talking and Leslie's mic is not turned off.
Okay, we can try that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, with that, do we have any council members with questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Tao, Tao,
Yes.
Herbst,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Rasmussen, Rasmussen,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Peckham.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is file number 19-1109. It's a resolution from the Finance Committee approving modification of the 2020 budget, capital projects funds, motor pool fund, TID funds, and public access fund. Committee action approved 5-0. The fiscal impact for 2020 is that the action will modify the 2020 budget by reestablishing the unused replacement funds and committed project and contractual obligation funds budgeted in the 2019 year for a total of $6,553,422. Do we have a motion on the item?
I move.
Motion by Peckham, is there a second?
Herbst will second.
Second by Herbst. Discussion or questions on the item? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Madam President, Mary Tao has her hand up.
I'm sorry, do we have a hand up that wants to speak?
Yes, Mary Tao does.
Okay, go ahead, Mary.
I did not put my hand up. I will lower the hand.
Thank you. Go ahead, Leslie, call the roll.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao,
Yes.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is file number 18-1109. It's a resolution from the Finance Committee approving the 2019 budget modification for the recycling, parking, and airport funds. Committee action approved 5-0. The fiscal impact is $315,000. I'll entertain a motion on the item.
Nutting move.
Motion by Nutting, is there a second?
Herbst will second.
Second by Herb. Council comments or questions on the item? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is file number 20-0409. It's a resolution from the Finance Committee authorizing the proper city officials to apply for and borrow from the Board of Commissioners of Public Lands of Wisconsin State Trust Fund loans not to exceed $2,986,000 for the purpose of financing street improvements, the Riverside Park Trail, road, and seawall. Committee action approved on a vote of 5-0. The fiscal impact is a $2,986,000 loan amount. The annual debt retirement is approximately $642,750. Interest expense over the life of the loan is approximately $227,750. I'll entertain a motion on the item.
I move.
Motion by Peckham, is there a second?
A second, Martins.
Okay, motion by Peckham, second by Martins. Council member comments or questions on the item? If none, then the clerk will call the roll.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao,
No.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Motion passes 9-1. Thank you for that. The next item on our agenda is file number 20-0410. It's a joint resolution of Economic Development and the Finance Committee approving a tax increment financing incentive not to exceed 10% of new construction value for proposed multifamily residential units as part of a major redevelopment of the existing Plaza Hotel at 201 North 17th Avenue and related budget modification. Fiscal impact, or the committee action, is ED approved, or economic development approved on a vote of 4-1. Finance approved 5-0. The fiscal impact is $900,000 for phase 1, $800,000 for phase 2 of the multifamily residential development. I'll entertain a motion on the item.
Motion by Motion by Lawrence.
Motion by Lawrence, is there a second?
Herbst will second.
I have
Second
a,
by Herbst.
I have a question.
Discussion or comments from council members on the item?
I have a question. This is Gary Gisselman.
Go ahead, Gary.
Of several things, I voted against this in economic development last time. I felt that at this point in time, we should really be questioning our rapid increase into multifamily housing, the city council really take a look at how we're moving in the direction of these large multifamily developments. Today, of course, there was emailed with regard to the form itself, and noticing that the application did not even have the legal name to be determined, a big question mark on that line, question marks with regard to other issues within the application itself. And I think that at this point in time, and I will make the motion that we send this back to economic development. I think exactly who are we dealing with when it says applicant information, legal name to be determined, a big question mark. We really don't, I mean, what's the corporation? Who are we dealing with? Who are the partners? Who are the owners? We don't even have an ID number with regard to this. I think that we've seen this scenario a while ago, and I think we have to be careful. I think we have to, with regard to, we have to be serving our citizens very well, and I think we have to be very above board with regard to how we do this. So I make the motion that this be sent back to economic development for further study with regard to that application, and that they come back to the city council with a completed application. Thank you.
Okay, given Mr. Gisselman's remarks, I would offer that both committees did talk about the item, and we did have Mr. Lokri on the call with us at both of those junctures. And he did offer a volume of information regarding the formation of an LLC.
Madam
to manage
President?
those projects.
I can't hear
Now,
you.
that said,
Madam President?
do we have a second to Gary's motion for a refer back?
I don't understand. Hello?
I'll ask one more time, is there a second to Gary's motion for a refer back?
This is Mary.
This is Becky. I will second it. And I will tell you why, is that I understand Mr. Lokri may have been on the phone, but he could have written down the information as well. If you go from the TIF application for Mr. Lokri compared to the gentleman who is doing the Plaza Hotel, it's a different story. You know, there's the whole area of financing is left blank. He didn't answer yes and no about, we have a question on there about union labor. He never answered that, yes or no. I understand that he may have been in on a call, but I like to see things in writing, and I'm not understanding why he didn't do it in writing. You know, if there's something out there that I couldn't find, I've emailed people and I just didn't get the answer back. I'm not opposed to this proposal, but I think I agree with Gary. This, you know, our residents were very clear after the Mr. France deal that they want us to do our due diligence. Now, Mr. Lokri, I'm sure, is a great guy. I have no qualms about him like I did the previous man, but I do think that we have to hold everybody to the same level of doing the exact same thing we ask everybody else. If we've done business with him or not before, that has to be filled out and didn't look like he just filled it out at a countertop. So I will second the motion to send it back to ED so he can complete that application.
Okay, with that,
Madam Chair,
yes, Tom,
I did have my hand raised.
go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We're kind of dealing here, I think, with an overly acute view on minutia at this point of the game. I feel that what we're being asked to do here is to start a process by showing our interest and support for this project. And then, starting the process that normally we would go through, which is hammering out a developer's agreement, going to plan commission, coming back to council with more particulars. That is all going to be happening. It's not like we're skipping any of those steps. Yes, there were some lines on the application that weren't filled, and maybe that's because Mr. Lockery wasn't really sure, how to what he intended to put there at this point. We know who that person is. We know work that he's done. We're, as Ms. McElhaney says, we're pretty comfortable with this man and with this organization. And I think that staff will go through all the normal steps in the development of a fair developer's agreement that we will see and approve. So at this point, we're putting the horse in front of the cart so we can start pulling along here. And I would also state that we have to keep in mind, too, that the next item on our agenda, the Plaza Hotel project itself, is really contingent on us getting this project approved and started. So I don't see a need to go back to ED, a needless delay. We have the information we need to get this thing started, to have the process go through its normal steps. So I don't support going back to ED. Thank you.
Madam President, I just want to let you know that Mary Tao and Linda Lawrence both have their hands up.
Okay, we'll recognize Mary Tao first, and then Linda Lawrence after.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say that the two items on the docket, it's both very compelling that one application has so much completeness to it, with renderings, with the type of investment that that owner or that developer is coming forward to contribute to what they would love to see be renovated to become the new Best Western. I also feel the same way as Becky and Gary. Looking at the other application, I have some concerns. And I have some concerns that if these are individuals that have been in partnership with us in the past, if we have a great relationship, I feel they can take the time to disclose and fill out very simple information that's needed in order for us to get that process going, right, Tom? And so, to me, when something is incomplete, it is very concerning. We don't know what to expect, right? We may get surprises. It might go well. We don't know. It's a flip of a coin. So I would agree with Gary and Becky to really bring us back to ED. It seems like the two items on the docket go hand in hand. They need it's both of them going forward together or not. And so I would support sending this back. I just don't think we can move forward and support something like this. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Linda Lawrence.
Thank you. Is this too loud? Okay, I can understand people's concerns regarding the developer for part of the River Life project who wound up shoplifting and had, I don't know, bankruptcy, fiscal problems with the company. Given with COVID-19, I'm not sure if all of our standing businesses around today are going to be around tomorrow. Given that, I agree with Tom Neal that this is a green light. We've got our future mayor here in the audience. Mayors meet a lot in private with developers. Someone starts something with an idea, and there are a lot of private conversations, but then for transparency, and so as things get to the public arena, there comes an initial point where they become public. They go to a committee, and we all talk about, oh, this is going to happen possibly over on 17th Avenue, and this is our intent with direction. It's not a developer agreement. It's not Ts that are crossed or Is that are dotted. There would be, I would hope, due diligence on the part of our new mayor and her staff to make sure that by the time this comes back to the council with the development agreement before ground is dug, that all of that will have occurred. And if we, not to be over hasty, but if we impose additional delays just because of the fear of what happened before, I think that's a mistake. And frankly, with Ms. Ryan's email, I saw that today, and, you know, it's her perspective, that's fine. But I think if we make life too difficult for developers, you know where they're going to go. They're not going to go here. With a challenging site like this that's got concrete that should have been in Omaha Beach in, you know, World War II. I mean, this is why we do this. This is why cities come forward with incentives like this. So this is just a go-ahead for the new administration to work with the developer who has a standing good track record in our community in Portage County. So I intend to oppose Mr. Gisselman's motion.
Okay, thank you for that.
Madam President,
Request to comment also. Are there additional council members that wish to comment?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Pat, and then we're gonna recognize Director Chris Schock, who'd like to also offer comment.
Thank you, and I look forward to hearing Chris's comments, but I think that Tom and Linda are correct in that this is a green light to go ahead with planning and further development. Some of those blanks on that form were just, you know, Mr. Lockrate, what are you going to call this company? And, you know, he might call it anything he wants to, but we know who the guy is. And so I think if he were, it just seems unreasonable to ask for every little detail that's on that application to be in is at this point in the decision-making process. And two committees have looked at this, heard the background, and are comfortable with it. So I think we should approve it tonight. Thank you.
Okay, we'll recognize Director Chris Schock.
Hey, sure. Can you hear me? I'm glad to discuss or answer any questions. Obviously when an application is submitted, there are certain aspects of the TIF application which are relevant and some that are less relevant. You know, in the case of the loan for the renovation of the hotel, there's a lot of information that needs to be fleshed out, because it's a complex financing, kind of thing to finance. It's an expensive renovation that will not generate a significant amount of increment or, new property value. And, there's a lot of information they have to present there. Raleigh's application, yes, I believe all the TBDs have been answered in our dialogue at the committee meeting and tonight as well. He would create an LLC that's separate. The front page is very clear that the partners are Raleigh and Jim Frings. It's the same partners that did Mountain Lanes. You'll also remember at the committee meeting that he included a site plan, but he did note that they haven't designed the building yet, so there aren't elevations, but that it would be similar to Mountain Lanes in its design. And to Tom's point, the project still would go through planning commission and site plan approval as well. So there's steps to ensure that the building is designed to the city's satisfaction. And I think I think Becky had a question, whether he had selected or didn't select the the labor force agreement, and that was asked in the committee meeting. I think Pat asked, and and Raleigh answered and noted that they weren't going to proceed that. So I mean, I think every question had been asked or reaffirmed by the committee. Obviously, the application is a general application. Some projects, that information is less relevant. It's a somewhat simple deal for them to finance. They would finance it with their equity, and and a bank loan. There's no other there's no other factors coming in, that obviously on the hotel, there's a lot of factors. So just to help answer those questions, and let me know if you have additional questions.
Council members, are there additional questions for Director Schock?
Yes. I have a question. Well, I have a statement more than a question. But today, the resolution does say that this is the term sheet. So the city council is agreeing to the term sheet as in your packet tonight. So this is pretty much that final step. Maybe plan commission with regard to site, but this is pretty much the final step towards the project agreement. And Chris said, you said, well, they're going to form an LLC. Well, is that who we're going to be dealing with? We do, at this point in time, then we do not know that LLC name. We do not know the corporate entity that we're going to be dealing with. So I think I still firmly feel that we have to make this right, and put all the cards on the table, all the information that we have into the public record so that we exactly know who we're dealing with. We know who we're dealing with, but let's make it sure that everybody knows exactly who and what we're dealing with as we go forward with this project. Thank you.
Gary, obviously I understand that you don't like but to be clear, the LLC is going to be determined when they create the project. So he can put a name on there. We often pass a term sheet that notes the developer and or their signees, because they're creating a separate LLC. Every developer has created a separate LLC to hold the project. The principles of that LLC are clearly listed on the front page of the application. Raleigh Lockery and Jim Franks. I don't know how much clearer it can be. They could have put something down and named it in advance, correct? But it's not required, okay, that you create an LLC before requesting a project to be reviewed by the committee. And if you wish for that to happen, then, we can adopt that policy and say that an LLC must be created in advance of your TIF application, but that has not been what we've done. And we even pass resolutions that don't have the name of the LLC listed because they will likely create that LLC, at the time of the development agreement process. We do want to understand who the principals are, and that is clear.
Madam President, I want to let you know that Alder McElhaney and Alder Tao both have their hands up.
Okay, we'll recognize Becky McElhaney first and then Mary Tao. Go ahead, Becky.
Thanks. I want to go back to what Tom Neal said and then Gary said, is that I'm not stuck on the LLC. I'm just wondering, is that I don't see this as a first step. This isn't, we're looking into starting a development agreement with Lockery for this. It is, we're now saying that we will give up to 10% in TIP, 900,000 and approximately 800,000 for phase 2. So isn't the city then on the hook? And how can a term sheet, my question is, how can a term sheet be without the number of units? We say, well, it should be worth 17 million when it's coming down, but we've asked that stuff before. I guess that's my question, is that I don't see this as a first step. If it is a first step, I misunderstood, and I want to make that clear, because I see this as the city, because we're down below in another, another action tonight. We're changing all the TID districts to make this fit in there. So I don't think this is the first step. I want to make sure, if somebody could answer me, this is the final term sheet we're agreeing to, correct?
Again, I'm glad to answer. It is the term sheet that will then be the foundation for the development agreement.
Okay, with that, then we'll also recognize Mary Tao. Go ahead, Mary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess when I think about, after I step down after today, I guess a lot of the things I do tonight doesn't really matter. But I think about what's our gold standard, right? I think about our process for developers to come in, have interest, to use some of our financial vehicles or tools to develop and create more opportunities for the city of Wausau. And it seems like we don't have a gold standard. The gold standard is go and talk to somebody, and even if you don't have complete information, you kind of have an idea, well, we'll just kind of push it through anyways. Or it really depends on who you are. And I compare the Lockery, proposal to the Best Western proposal. And if you and I hate to compare it, but all their financing information was there. Their design renderings were there. Their concept was clear. They knew exactly what they were going to do. They knew that in order for this to happen, they would have to sell off the other, the other two parcels, one to the north and, the other two-level hotel and conference room. It just seemed like they had a really clear idea, and that was all written in the whole packet that came forward to ED and finance. And I'm just a little discouraged that we don't have a standard, and we kind of just, I don't know, fly by the seat of our pants, and we sort of just say, okay, well, that's my friend, or, oh, we've worked with them before, we've partnered with them, and we just say, okay, well, we really don't need all the information. It's okay. This is a stepping stone. This is just the first to get us going until we get to a developer agreement. I just, this whole incompleteness is scary, quite frankly, has gotten us into a lot of trouble. And I don't know why the rush, like we could help council members feel more confident in making a good decision to support something and move things forward, but yet we don't all feel unanimously that this is something that should move forward. So I'd love to see a gold standard in future ED or TIF, offerings to developers. And those are things that I wanted to just say. Thank you.
Okay, I can try to address some of the questions. Again, based on Raleigh's, presentation at the joint committee, it was quite clear that the project would mirror Mountain Lanes, okay? We have gone through that process. We have reviewed the elevations for it. The site plan is included there because they have shown a site plan, but they haven't designed the building yet, but it would be very similar in its scope and size. He did discuss the units. He did discuss the goal of diversifying the unit count within the property to, be more larger units and some smaller units to complement Mountain Lanes, which is mainly 2-bedroom units. The rents were discussed, again, in the committee forum. And that's a normal process where, if there are questions about the project, we're glad to, either the developers responding to them or staff goes back and negotiates or asks for more information. Obviously, the committee work has been completed. The project was accepted. They didn't ask for additional information, from the developer. I'm sure that Raleigh is more than willing to provide that information. This is approving the TIF term sheet, which will lead to a development agreement, but the project still has to go through any site plan or planning commission review from a design perspective. So there are still steps left that are going to be, reviewed, by the city to ensure that the project, fits whatever standard, you wish it to fit, but clearly we have approved a project at Mountain Lanes already. There's a very good understanding of what that is. The hotel renovation wasn't a good understanding, so they were presenting a complete package about what they were going to do. It's important for the hotel that this is approved and moved forward because the hotel does not get renovated without the sale of the property for the apartment complex. So, and if the committee felt that they were uncomfortable about the details of the apartment complex, obviously, those individuals could answer that question, or they can send us back. We're glad to track down those answers. But again, I think we have a very good idea because literally you can see the example next door that, this is going to be a similar building to Mountain Lanes. And that's what was presented. And the design review will go through the site plan process at that time, which council will review that as well in the future.
Thank you for that, Chris.
Madam President, Alder McElhaney and Alder Tao have hands up. I'm not sure if they are still raised from before.
Do you have additional comments, ladies, or, okay, if you could then lower your hand on the WebEx app. I would offer this as a member of both committees. When we discussed this at length, we did have an example of what the one across the street would look like. We did talk about diversifying the size mix of the units to accommodate families in some of them that would not be accommodated by the unit mix necessarily across the street at Mountain Lanes. And that did give us some measure of comfort. And with a refer back, we know that the Plaza Hotel is blighted. And right now it is a drain on room tax for this community. It is not generating the room nights that we would like to see it generate. And it has, it's just not functioning as well as it could. And so that was one of the things that the committee talked about, at least in finance. Now, with a motion to refer back, I've always asked us to be cautious with that because not only does it delay the process, but if you're equipped to vote on it tonight and the results coming back from a refer back would be no different. If you are interested in the concept, and we know that when the plan goes through the plan commission, that plan commission approval also comes to council for subsequent action. So it's not the final step in a process. And so we have to ask ourselves on a refer back motion, will the result after review be any different? Because if we like the concept and we are not opposed to these numbers in terms of, if we're going to look at an investment of $900,000 for phase one, $800,000 for phase two to gain a taxable property of $17 million in TID8, that is a huge return on our investment. So we need to consider that. Also with the Plaza Hotel, one of the things we were sensitive to in committee is that project, not only are the projects linked, but the hotel renovation is on kind of a tight schedule to get done by year end. And it behooves them to undertake the project soon while their volume is low. Because with the economy doing what it's doing in the current crisis situation, room nights are impacted right now. And so there's no better time for them to start to tear things up and make them new again. And so I'm just offering that as a member of both committees that I'd ask that we consider that when we vote on the motion to refer back. Do we have additional questions or comment from council members? If not, then I'll ask the clerk to call the roll on the motion to refer back to ED, recognizing that if you are wanting to act on the item tonight, you would vote no. And if you are interested in a refer back, you would vote yes. Go ahead with the roll then, Leslie, please.
Peckham,
No.
Martins,
No.
Nutting,
No.
Neal,
No.
Gisselman,
Yes.
McElhaney. McElhaney. McElhaney.
See, I don't know what to do. It's not working.
Alder McElhaney, was that a yes?
Yes.
Lawrence?
No.
Herbst?
No.
Tao?
Yes.
Motion fails 3-7.
Nobody asked me, Leslie. I haven't voted.
Rasmussen?
Rasmussen votes no. So with that, we will then act on the motion as originally presented. We had a motion and a second on the floor. Leslie, please call the roll for that.
Tao?
No.
Herbst,
No.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst, yes.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
McElhaney,
No.
Gisselman,
No.
Neal,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Peckham.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-3.
Thank you for that. The next item on our agenda is item 20-0410, a joint resolution from Economic Development and Finance, the companion project to the one we just considered. Resolution approving a $190,000 loan and 1 year of reverse tax increment financing incentive for the major renovation of the Plaza Hotel at 201 North 17th Avenue and related budget modification. Economic Development Committee approved 5-0. Finance approved 5-0. Fiscal impact is a $190,000 loan and an approximately $50,000 reverse TID payment. Do we have a motion on the item?
Nutting.
Neal moves to approve.
Motion by Neal. Is there a second?
Second by Nutting.
Second by Nutting. Committee, council members, do you have questions or comment on the item?
Gary Gisselman has a question. Chris, the question came up, I think, last week with regard to, in the committee, with regard to if the applicant Jay Govardhan is now the sole owner. I understand that the discussion at that time was that he was starting to become the sole owner. Do we know how that is progressing, or is there a status on that?
Sure. So Jay is not the owner as yet, but obviously this is part of the process. They will divide the property into 3 pieces. The other owner will receive the northern lot, and then they will sell the portion to Lockery for the multifamily piece, and then Jay will be the owner of the remainder of the hotel. So, this approval process is part of that step, because he needs to understand that the hotel is renovatable, and that, he still has to secure all of his financing pieces, but he's working through that. And I agree with Mary and others who gave Jay good cred for his application thoroughness, and we do appreciate that from a staff perspective. Obviously, it does help when the application is well fleshed out. And I think, again, they've had to do that because they have to justify to a bank, the kind of precarious, frankly, situation of trying to finance the renovation of a blighted property and how it's going to work and how those steps are going to take place. And so that requires more information as well than simple reverse TIF on multifamily construction, which is similar to the one next door. So I think long answer to your simple question is just that not as yet, but that would be part of the process, obviously, before we have a development agreement.
But then that would come eventually then, right? I would trust it as part of that final
Yep.
agreement. Thank you.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, additional council member comment or questions on this item? If there are none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
McElhaney, McElhaney,
Yes.
Gisselman,
Yes.
Neal,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you for that. The next item on our agenda is file number 19-1109, joint resolution from Economic Development and Finance Committee approving the acquisition of 1407 North 2nd Street from Marathon County and related budget modification. Committee action was Economic Development approved the item 5-0. Finance approved the item 3-2. The fiscal impact is approximately $22,117. I'll entertain a motion on this item.
To approve, Gary Gisselman.
The motion from Gisselman, is there a second?
Second by Neal.
Second by Neal. Discussion, comments, or questions from council members on the item?
I would.
Go ahead, Tom.
I just want to, say that this is something we've been looking at for a number of years now, actually, as the property sat in disrepair. And it's really important to clear that space and for the sake of the neighbors alone, to give them a more pleasant neighborhood. They've had to sit and look at that thing for a long time now. So, yeah, I'm wholeheartedly in favor of this.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Additional council member comment or questions? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Tao.
No.
Peckham.
Aye.
Martins.
Aye.
Nutting.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Gisselman.
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Motion passes 9-1.
Thank you. The next file coming up on our agenda is file number 20-0405. It's a joint resolution from Economic Development and Finance approving the sale of 180 East Wausau Avenue for the establishment of the Wausau Barrel House, a cannery, barrel aging facility, kitchen incubator, and tasting room with related budget modification. Committee action, Economic Development approved 5-0. Finance approved 5-0. Fiscal impact is a loan in the amount of $350,000. However, $40,000 is recovered in sale proceeds. Entertain a motion on this item.
Neal moves to approve.
Motion from Neal. Is there a second?
Herb seconds.
Second by Herbst. Council member comment or questions on the item? We also have both prospective owners of the facility on the call with us tonight if there are questions for the owners.
My hand's up.
Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you. Yeah, this is truly a visionary proposal project. Our friend Romy Wagner spoke to it very well in committee. It's a wonderful synergistic partnership, making this almost like a unique project, and certainly a wonderful fit for that neighborhood and for what we want to be happening down there. So this is another one that I wholeheartedly approve and support.
Thank you for that. Additional council member questions or comments? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Tao.
Yes.
Herbst.
Aye.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Gisselman.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Nutting.
Aye.
Martins.
Aye.
Peckham.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you for that. And I see smiles on WebEx from both prospective owners, so thank you for hanging in there with us and attending tonight. The next file on our agenda tonight is 20-0315. It's a joint resolution from Economic Development and the Finance Committee authorizing deferral of interest and principal payments on existing city-provided loans and ground lease payments due to the city of commercial properties and businesses for due the city of commercial properties and businesses for 6 months to assist small businesses who request such during the COVID-19 pandemic emergency declaration. Committee action on this was Economic Development approved 5-0. Finance Committee approved 5-0. The fiscal impact is none. Local interest will continue to accrue, but no payments are due during the deferment. I'll entertain a motion on this item.
Motion by Neal. And I have my hand up.
Motion by Neal. Is there a second?
Second by Herbst.
Second by Herbst. Entertain council member comment and questions on the item.
My hand is,
Go ahead, Tom.
thank you. Well, in committee, in the joint committee meeting, there was exhaustive discussion on this. Almost to levels that I couldn't believe. We just kept going over and over the same ground again. But we did cover it in great detail and came to a pair of unanimous decisions to approve this. This is an important thing to do in the current state of affairs. It's a kind and partnering thing to do for the good of our community and people who have invested in their lives in our community. So we, in our discussions, kind of got buried in some minutia that was sort of dismaying at the time, because we have staff in place and we have ways to deal with every case by case that comes forward, and we just can't be trying to micromanage it from a committee level or even a council level when we already have staff in place to take care of this. And this is a policy issue, and the policy is we're going to help those that need it. Thank you.
Madam President, Alder Tao and Alder Lawrence have their hands up.
We'll recognize Mary Tao first and then Linda Lawrence. Go ahead, Mary.
Well, first of all, thank you, council members, for supporting this resolution to go back to ED and Finance for further review. I think where we landed the last time when we had this discussion at the Common Council meeting is that it lacked criteria. And if we are developing a resolution that's focused on supporting our most vulnerable, which is our small businesses, then we need to support those that are economically challenged by the pandemic and the state of the crisis right now. But how we have the resolution stated before and coming back today, it's really a free-for-all, right? So I would amend the motion to remove the language that has the word small from the resolution, because basically right now we're saying any city provided loan or ground lease with no stipulation of having any kind of criteria. If we truly care about every single entity that has a loan or a lease option active with the city today, then automatically opt them all in. Defer all the principal and interest for every single loan and every single lease payment that's active today. Why leverage the good feeling of saying, hey, this resolution is really supporting the vulnerable small businesses, because it's not. And so I would make the amendment to the motion to remove any language that speaks to small businesses, keep it very general. And I would also add that that in the section where it says be it resolved, the last section where it states that that it would only be for those on a case-to-case basis, that this would be, that these payments would be deferred on any loans and ground lease payments that's due to the city for the next 6 months for any business that they're automatically opt-in. That's what I would suggest. And let's steer away from us trying to approach this from a small business perspective, because based on the reporting that I've received from Mary Ann today, based on my request, some of these businesses don't fall under small businesses if you compare them to some of the criteria that WEDC is using. So I have some reservations about us using language to support small businesses when really that's not the case here. So if we're going to do a free-for-all and open, then that would be my motion to amend the current motion to take out that language.
Okay, do we have a second to Mary's motion?
Give someone
To strike
seconds.
the word small next to business in the first whereas and in the be it resolved, which would then cause the resolution to read, have a profound impact on businesses and to assist businesses, removing the small language. We have a second to that.
Gisselman seconds.
A second by Gisselman. Now, we have one more person requesting to speak on the item before we would vote on the amendment. Is that Linda Lawrence?
My comments don't have to do with the amendment, so I'll hold them until the amendment passes or fails.
Okay. The only thing that I would offer, as a member of both committees that we talked about in discussion, was that the reason we left in the language about a case-by-case basis is because this relief costs people money. And because the interest continues to accrue over time, if they choose to take advantage of the deferral and request it, with the acknowledgement that all of them that apply would be approved, the loans would be deferred, but the interest would continue to accumulate and would be due at the end. So some businesses who are less affected by COVID-19 may opt to continue their normal payment schedule and not take the deferral. That's the only reason we left in case by case, because we want them to have the option to opt in versus having to take action to get out. So that was the background on that. But as far as removing the word small from the resolution, it still has the same impact, basically. I mean, in terms of the real impact of what happens with the loans.
Alder Peckham and Alder Tao have their hands up.
Okay. With regard to the amendment, Alder Peckham first and then Mary.
Yes, thank you. As restated, the motion from Ms. Tao is only to remove those two words, but it seemed to me that there was more to what she was going for than that. She wanted to remove any impediment and the case-by-case review thing. I believe we went over that pretty thoroughly last week, and the case-by-case review, basically, the intention that we conveyed to the Community Development Office was if they walk in and ask for it, they get it. So I guess I'd like clarification on exactly what the motion is, and I believe Ms. Tao is about ready to give us that. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Mary, and answer Pat's question.
Thank you, Pat. My amendment to the motion is to strike out the word small from the entire resolution. And I also wanted to share that when I spoke in email with Christian Schock and others today, which included Tom Neal and Lisa Rasmussen and Marianne Grote, that all loans and all ground lease would be deferred. I just want that to be clear with everyone that's on the call today. That regardless of who they are, if they have an active loan or ground lease payment or ground lease with the city, they are automatically going to get the deferment. And those that choose not to leverage the deferment, that's on them. But I want that to be clear along with striking out the word small from the resolution.
Okay, so with that clarification, and she is right on that, we would be looking at the potential for a 6-month deferral on all loans, which essentially delays our collections, but it does continue to accumulate interest. So over time, that cost of that deferral will have a cost, and in the end, people who take advantage of it will pay the city more money than they would have if they had kept paying normally. That's the only clarification there. And then I've made note of the striking of the word small at 3 different points. Now with the motion and a second.
Alder Lawrence has her hand up.
Okay, I will recognize Linda Lawrence before we vote on the amendment. Go ahead, Linda.
Thank you. This is on the amendment. I'm still confused. Alder Tao says, her amendment says strike the word small, but then you go on to say we're basically eliminating case-by-case basis, but then you're not including that in your amendment. So what is the therefore be it resolved proposed by the amendment? What? Yeah, I mean, read the last paragraph, please, in the amended proposal.
Okay, hold on, Linda. Let me bring up the screen that has the language. Give me a second. Okay, so my amendment is to strike the word small from the entire resolution. And then where it says, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Wausau that city staff is authorized to approve deferral of interest and principal payments on existing city-provided loans and ground lease payments due to the city for 6 months to assist small businesses who request said deferment during the COVID-19 pandemic emergency declaration. So I'm also asking us to strike out the case-by-case basis because we are allowing all loans and all ground lease payments to be deferred. Does
Okay,
that make sense
it does. Because
to
then
everyone?
If people want to continue to pay, they certainly have that option, but they're not obligated. That does make sense.
Correct.
Is that good with everyone who had questions of Mary? And if there's no additional comment, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll on the amendment.
Peckham.
Aye.
Martins.
Aye.
Nutting.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Gisselman.
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Tao.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you for that. Next up on our agenda is item
We'll need to go
9.4.
back and, Madam President, we'll need to go back and
We have to
vote.
vote on the agenda as amended on the council floor. We'll call the roll one more time.
What?
We need a motion.
Oh, we had one to start with, before the amendment.
Yep.
Peckham.
Aye.
Martins.
Aye.
Nutting.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye, and could I just make a request again? Anybody, when you're not using your microphones, please turn them off. We keep getting a lot of background noise. And people in chambers, using your microphones in chambers, please, this is particularly for Gisselman and Leslie and Linda, please back off from those microphones. Give them a long distance because it's really hard to bounce from very quiet talking to very, very loud talking. So I have to keep changing my volume setting when different people are talking. Okay, it's very distracting. So just please back off from your microphones and then other people turn off your microphones if you're not using them. Thank you.
Gisselman.
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Tao.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next up on our agenda is file number 94-0907. It's a joint resolution of the Plan Commission, the Economic Development Committee, and the Finance Committee, approving boundaries and project plan for Amendment 4 to Tax Increment District Number 3, City of Wausau, known as TID 3. Plan Commission approved 5-0. Economic Development Committee approved 5-0. Finance Committee approved 4-0. Fiscal impact is that the project plan does not increase expenditures and is not an expenditure commitment. Do I have a motion on the item?
Motion by Nutting.
Motion by Nutting, is there a second?
Second by Lawrence.
By Peckham. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there council member questions or comment on this item? If not, we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Gisselman.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Nutting.
Aye.
Martins.
Aye.
Peckham.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Lawrence.
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Tao.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Next item on our agenda is file number 050406, joint resolution of the Plan Commission, Economic Development Committee, and Finance Committee, approving amendment number 5 to the project plan and boundaries of tax increment district number 6, City of Wausau, Wisconsin. Committee action was the Plan Commission approved 5-0. Economic Development Committee approved 5-0. Finance Committee approved 4-0. The fiscal impact is this amendment will remove a single parcel from the district. I'll entertain a motion on the item.
I would move to approve.
Motion by Peckham, is there a second?
Second by Herbst.
Second by Herbst. Is there a council member comment or questions on this item? If not, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Tao,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, next item on our agenda is file number 051209. It is a joint resolution of the Plan Commission, the Economic Development Committee, and the Finance Committee approving the boundaries and project plan amendment 2 of Tax Incremental Financing District number 7, City of Wausau, known as TID 7. Committee action was the Plan Commission approved 5-0, Economic Development Committee approved 5-0, Finance Committee approved 4-0. The fiscal impact is that this amendment will allow, will add and remove territory and increase project costs. I'll entertain a motion on this item.
Moved by Nutting.
Motion by Nutting, is there a second?
Second from Tao.
Second by Tao. Council member questions or comments on this item? If not, we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney. McElhaney,
Oh, there, she was on for a second. You're on back, go ahead.
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next up on our agenda is file number 12-0306, joint resolution of the Plan Commission, Economic Development Committee, and Finance Committee, approving the boundaries and project plan amendment 2 of Tax Incremental Financing District number 8, City of Wausau, known as TID number 8. Now, this particular item, you should have a revised copy of the resolution at your desks this evening. This item, based on action that was taken in the Finance and ED committees last week and the approvals that we just made tonight for the Plaza Hotel, we will need to amend this item on the floor to include the Plaza Hotel property in this resolution. When this was drafted originally, those items were not approved. Could I ask for if someone would be willing to offer such an amendment?
I move to approve and to amend to include the parcels at the Plaza Hotel.
Nutting
Okay.
seconds.
We have a motion, or we have a motion to amend by Tom. Do we have a second?
Nutting seconds.
Second by Nutting.
Madam President, Mary Ann Grote would like to speak.
So, oh, yeah. If we could amend that amendment to add the project costs to, so we've got now the 2 parcels being added, but if you could add the project costs as well for those, okay, just,
Okay, now, is that good with the motion and the second to add the project cost to your amendment?
That's good for the second here. I'm sure it's for the first, but go ahead, Tom.
Good for me, too.
Okay? Now, do we have council member comment or questions on this item? If not, we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao.
No.
Motion passes 9-1.
Okay, with that, our next file then is file number
Oh, we have to-
17-0716, resolution of, joint resolution. of
Madam
the Plan
President,
Commission.
we have to go back and vote on that original motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, we do. We need to vote on the resolution then as amended on the council floor. Go ahead, Leslie.
We need a first and second, Madam President?
Okay, I thought we had one.
No, we had one. We have to have one. To amend it.
This is the original motion now for,
Correct.
Move to approve as amended.
Okay, so we have a motion by Neil to approve. Do we have a second?
Second by Nutting.
Second by Nutting. We'll go ahead and call the roll then to vote on the motion as amended on council floor.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao.
no,
Motion passes 9-1.
Okay, next item then up on our agenda is file numbers 17-0716, joint resolution of the Plan Commission, Economic Development Committee, and the Finance Committee approving the boundaries and project plan for amendment number 1, the tax increment district fund, tax incremental financing district number 12 in the city of Wausau, known as TID 12. Committee action was Plan Commission approved 5-0, Economic Development Committee approved 5-0, Finance Committee approved 4-0. The fiscal impact is that the project plan is a territory amendment with no additional projects. I'll entertain a motion on the item.
I'd move.
Motion by Peckham, is there a second?
Gisselman seconds.
Second by Gisselman. Council member comment or questions on this item? If not, we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao,
yes,
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins, Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. The next items on our agenda will require suspension of the rules because these items are not coming from a standing committee. That requires a 2/3 vote. Do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
Moved by Nutting.
Motion by Nutting, is there a second?
Second by Herbst.
Second by Herbst. We'll ask the clerk to call the roll then to suspend the rules.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Tao.
yes,
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. First item is file number 20-0207, a joint resolution of the SISM Committee and the Plan Commission, joint resolution vacating and discontinuing a portion of right-of-way at Curling Way near Town Line Road. Committee action, SISM approved on a vote of 5-0, Plan Commission approved on a vote of 6-0. The fiscal impact is none. Take a motion on the item.
I'd move.
Motion by Peckham, is there a second?
Second by Martins.
Second by Martins. Council member comments or questions on this item? If not,
Madam
clerk will call the
President,
roll.
Alder Lawrence's hand is up.
Okay, first, before we vote, we'll recognize Linda Lawrence. Go ahead, Linda.
Thank you. I just make a comment that when we vacate this, actually, the property technically refers back to the city, and the city is somehow going to deed it over to Kraft Foods for some additional parking for staff. How that's going to happen, I don't know, but this isn't a vacation where it automatically goes to the property owners contiguous, because the railroad had stipulated it goes to the city if it's vacated. Is that correct? It's just a point of information.
I believe that is correct from our SISM dialogue. Eric Lindman, is that correct?
Eric has left the meeting.
Okay,
Ah,
all right. But yes, based on on the SISM dialogue, that was correct. The railroad would deed the property to the city, and the city would then negotiate the legal transfer of that property to Kraft. And it was to expand employee parking.
Madam President, I just want to let you know that Alder Tao has said she has to leave the meeting after this vote.
Okay? All right, recognizing then that after this vote, we'll lose Mary. So with that, is there any additional council member comments or questions on this item? If not, we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Tao,
Yes.
Herbst,
Yes.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you for that.
Madam President, Alder Lawrence would like to speak.
Okay,
Just
go
quick,
ahead, Linda.
just quickly to thank Mary Tao. I mean, this is, for some of us, many of us, our last meeting, and I think Mary, I've observed, done a fabulous job in representing her district, and, you know, your knowledge has been very useful, and I've enjoyed working with you for even a few months that I've had the privilege of sitting here. So thank you, Mary.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll also recognize departing members at the end of the meeting as well. That said, coming up here is a couple of, a number of emergency proclamations that were drafted by Mayor Milkey as a result of the proclamation of a state of emergency under the COVID-19 crisis. So these items are coming to us not from a committee. And so when he makes those proclamations, it then is incumbent upon us at our next practical meeting to vote on those judgments that he has sent forward. Even if these items are denied by the council, they remain valid for the time that he had them in place prior to this vote. The first one is file number 20-0317, coming to council. It is a resolution ratifying executive declaration number 2 under the City of Wausau proclamation of state of emergency pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 3.323.14, paragraph 4, sub B, relating to essential and non-essential meetings and agenda items. There is no community action to be had, and the fiscal impact is none. I'll entertain a motion.
Lawrence will move.
Motion by Lawrence. Is there a second?
Neal?
Second by Neal. Council member questions or comments on this item? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is file number 20-0317. It is a resolution ratifying executive declaration number 3 under City of Wausau proclamation of state of emergency pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 323.14, paragraph 4, sub B, relating to suspension of Wausau Municipal Code section 5.64.036, drive-up sales. There is no committee action to be had on this one, and the fiscal impact is none. We'll take a motion on the item.
Moved by Neal.
Motion by Neal. Is there a second?
Second by Herbst.
Second by Herbst. Council member questions or comments on this item?
I can't get my hand up. Can I ask a question?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Becky.
Okay, thank you. My only question is, when will this end? Is there, a time when there is no more state of emergency? Is it when Governor Evers lifts restrictions? I just wondered how this was going to be pulled back after everything is done.
Okay, so this item in the resolution says the declaration shall remain in effect for the duration of the public health emergency declared in Governor Evers Order 72 or until a superseding order is issued by or other action by the Common Council of the City of Wausau. So this does sunset with the end of the pandemic emergency, unless we stipulate otherwise. It also is not a premises amendment for any of our licensed alcohol establishments, but it will allow them to sell beverages in closed containers, retail, and bring them out and give them to people at curbside. Okay. With that, we have a motion and a second. Are there additional questions or comments? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins. Was that an aye, Martins?
Yes. Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you for that. Our next one is, well, kind of now a moot point, but still necessary. File number 01-0115, a resolution relocating District 7 and 8 polling places from Wausau West High School to St. Mark's Lutheran Church for the election that has just passed. No committee action to be had. Fiscal impact was a $200 fee for use of the fellowship hall and a $50 custodial fee per election.
Madam President, I'd just like to make one clarification. This is going to be, this is a proposed move permanently, not just for certain elections.
Okay, good to know. Yes, so, okay, then this is not a moot point. Sorry for that. So with that, permanent move of the District 7 and 8 polling place, I'll accept a motion.
Motion by Lawrence?
Motion by Lawrence, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Peckham.
Madam President?
Councilmember comments or questions on this item?
Yeah, this is Herbst. Is this going to be, every time they're going to have to pay $250 for fellowship hall and custodial? Every time there is an election?
Yes, that is
Les-
correct.
That is correct. Do we pay rent at all the other places as well on the day of polling?
Yes, we do.
We do.
Not
Thank
all
you.
places.
Well, so I'm being told by our finance director that a couple of them we do not have to pay, but there are some that we do pay.
Okay. Additional questions
Madam
or
President,
comments?
Alder McElhaney would like to speak.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What was the reason, why are we leaving Wausau West?
The question from Becky is, why is the polling place moving out of Wausau West? Leslie, can you offer an answer about that?
So it's part of the resolution, is listed all the reasons. So part of the reason was with this happening with the pandemic, we had to move because it was not available. Also, when we set up at the schools, there's additional security measures that we have to take, meaning hiring an officer to be there. Also, if they have school activities going on, that coincides with our elections. So all in all, the church is a better place to hold the election at.
Then to follow up, are we still going to be using Wausau East?
At this time, yes, but we are looking at some alternative locations so that we can move all our polling locations out of schools.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Any other council member comment or questions? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Herbst,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Peckham.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next item up is file number 20-0406, a resolution authorizing negotiation and execution of a sanitary sewer easement agreement with L&N Real Estate LLC as grantor. Committee action, there is none to be taken. These items are coming without a committee action in the interest of time. Fiscal impact is none. I'll entertain a motion.
I'd move.
Motion by Peckham, is there a second?
Second by Lawrence?
Second by Lawrence. Council member comments or questions on this item? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Madam President, Alder
Yes.
McElhaney has her hand up.
Okay,
I can't get it down.
Okay.
her hand is-
I'll yell
her hand
if I
is stuck.
need to, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so she'll wave to us when she really wants
Yeah,
to.
I'll wave at you.
Okay, I will now call the roll.
Please put the roll, Leslie.
Rasmussen,
got my audio, I'm losing
Aye.
my mind here, okay.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal. Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is file number 20-0406, a resolution authorizing negotiation and execution of a sanitary sewer force main access easement agreement with L&N Real Estate LLC as grantor. There is no committee action on this item, and the fiscal impact is none. I'll entertain a motion.
Move Martins.
Motion by Martins, is there a second?
Second by Becky.
Second by McElhaney. Council member comments or questions on this item? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next item is file number 20-0408, a resolution amending or authorizing negotiation and execution of a sanitary sewer force main access easement agreement with Alter Trading Corporation as grantor. No committee action has occurred. Fiscal impact is none. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion by Herbst.
Motion by Neal, is there a second?
Second by Herbst.
Second by Herbst. Council member comments or questions on this item? Hearing none, we'll proceed with the vote. Clerk will call the roll.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next item is 20-0407, resolution authorizing negotiation and execution of two sanitary sewer force main access easement agreements with Veritas Steel LLC as the grantor. There is no committee action, and the fiscal impact is none. I'll entertain a motion.
Herbst moves.
Motion by Herbst, is there a second?
I would give the second.
Second by Peckham. Council member comments or questions on this item? Hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
Herbst,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Peckham.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We have three addendum items, but we are drawing to the end here, folks, so thank you for hanging with us. The first item on the addendum is file number 20-0411, a resolution approving the City of Wausau's Metro Ride Administrative Leave Policy. Committee action did not occur on this item. Fiscal impact is none. I'll entertain a motion.
Moved by Nutting.
Motion by Nutting, is there a second?
Second by Neal.
Second by Neal. Council member comments or questions on this item? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next up is file number 06-1005. It's a resolution approving an agreement with U.S. Digital Designs Incorporated for G2 Fire Station Alerting System and a memorandum of understanding between the City of Wausau Fire Department, Riverside Fire District, South Area Fire Emergency Response District, SAFER, for computer-aided dispatch system use and services. There was no committee action on this item. The fiscal impact is $109,413. I'll entertain a motion on the item.
Herbst moves.
We have a motion from Herbst. Is there a second?
McElhaney seconds.
Second by McElhaney. Council member comments or questions on this item? Hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
McElhaney,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Last item on our agenda is file number 20-0317. It's a resolution ratifying Executive Declaration Number 4 under the City of Wausau Proclamation of State of Emergency pursuant to State Statute 323.14, Paragraph 4, Sub B, relating to the City of Wausau policy for employees with symptoms or exposure to novel COVID-19 flu coronavirus. There is no committee action and the fiscal impact is none. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion by
I move.
McElhaney.
Motion by McElhaney, is there a second?
Here, Peckham.
Second by Peckham. Council member comments or questions on this item? Hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Herbst,
Aye.
Peckham,
Aye.
Martins,
Aye.
Nutting,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Gisselman,
Aye.
McElhaney.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, that was the last item on our agenda, and I have just some recognition at the end of our meeting tonight. While this format is certainly not optimal, it works as well as it can under the circumstances. With that, this is the last official business meeting of the outgoing Wausau Common Council. With that, I'd like to recognize the public service of outgoing members Dennis Smith, Mary Tao, Gary Gisselman, Linda Lawrence, David Nutting, and outgoing Mayor Rob Milkey. I will have to say I am proud to call all of you colleagues and teammates in the leadership of our great city. Your service and achievements are appreciated and you will be missed. With that, I'd like to also extend a warm welcome to Mayor-elect Katie Rosenberg and members-elect Deb Ryan, Tom Killian, Lou Larson, Sarah Watson, and Jim Wadinski. We're looking forward to serving with all of you, and we are working out the logistics of getting our new members sworn in next Tuesday, and we're looking forward to their first business meeting on April 28th. So thank you to all of you who have served before, and welcome to all of you who are incoming. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn unless council members have additional comments.
Move to adjourn.
Okay?
Additional comments?
Okay, before we adjourn, Mr. Nutting would like to make a comment. Go ahead, Dave.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I too would like to congratulate Mayor-elect Rosenberg. It's been an honor to serve with you on county board, and I only regret that I can't continue to serve beside you here. But I wish you all success and will continue to support you here. So thank you. And I'd like to thank our mayor. Thank you for your distinguished service on Wausau's council as mayor. I and thousands of citizens are truly grateful, and it has been a true honor to serve with you. During my 12-plus years, we have witnessed and encouraged countless large and small developments and improvements to this great city. My experience started shortly after my appointment to council back in 2005, when Mayor Tipple announced in a closed session the amazing start of our central city's redevelopment, that being Richard Dudley's plan for his new iconic tower. And later, at the groundbreaking ceremony, Mr. Dudley was speaking from his podium. He said he often looked from his office window in the First American Bank building westerly at the empty lot along the river, and he pledged to build a magnificent office tower there with local workers and local companies' involvement. He then turned around and he looked at the gigantic opening in the earth, which was to prepare it for the massive foundation. And in true Richard Dudley character, he looked toward the Myron construction contractors and gruffly dressed them down with the fact that he wanted a 10-story building and they were going the wrong damn direction. Well, after the laughter subsided, he then gave them another jolt in saying, "I sure hope I have enough money." This was quite a thing for me to witness as a brand-new council person. Well, Mr. Mayor, the foundation must be laid to support the structure, and I firmly believe that Wausau is on a great foundation with the great work of those who have served behind us and the work of this present mayor and council that has continued to set in play. I won't bore you with all the amazing quality of life improvements and services that we now enjoy. The businesses that we have assisted to get established here, the medical and technical and tremendous options for dining and recreation, entertainment, the ongoing effort to encourage a wide variety of living arrangements, from the luxury Palladian to the historic working-class apartments and small houses throughout the city. I'm humbly proud of the small part that I've played to encourage all of this in my 12 years. And now, to hand off the baton, and I will encourage my successor to keep the faith and to keep the effort going. We are simple neighbors sitting in this council who have answered the call for the good of this city as a whole. We each care about this place that we call home. We don't compete with each other, but we rejoice in all of the good that's happening all over. I am so thankful for our great city's staff. Thank you for all the amazing work that you're doing every day in this service industry called the City of Wausau. It has also been an honor to represent the needs of this city at the county board level as a supervisor. This is a whole different world legislating that my successor there will easily take a year or two to wrap his mind around that responsibility. I will encourage him to visit here frequently so that he is keenly aware of the needs of the city at the county level. And I'm hoping that the rest of the City of Wausau supervisors will do the same by staying in touch with the city needs and transmitting them to the county level. I'd like to thank you, Pat, Michael, Tom, Gary, Becky, Lisa, Linda, Dawn, Mary, and Dennis, Ann, Marianne, Mary, Leslie, and our other staff. Thank you to the police department, the fire department, public works and engineering, parks, and all of the office specialists working throughout this building and in the remote locations. I will continue to be available for serving at time and needs present themselves. So, Madam Mayor-elect, if you have needs that I could be of helpful, don't hesitate to call. We'll see you later, and may those who come behind us find us faithful. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Nutting. Certainly a moment of reflection for all of us. The one thing that I'll ask, and I'm committing myself to tonight as acting mayor, is I am committed that I will work as hard as I can to help all of us put the election aside and roll up our sleeves and get to work for the citizens of our community. That's the job that we were sent here to do. And during the election, things get said and posted and written. And those are certainly not always a reflection of who all of us are on the inside. So that said, I will warmly welcome our new mayor and our new council members and commit to work as hard as I can to make the transition in administrative management as smooth as we possibly can. I spent the brunt of the day today working on a smooth transition for Mayor-elect Rosenberg. I'll be in touch with her in the next day or so. And I'm also working on a smooth transition for council to get our new members appointed and get their technology ready, get their emails ready, And with that, I will again thank everyone who's leaving us for their service and welcome everyone who's coming on. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Nutting moves?
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second by Neil.
Second by Neil. We won't need to call the roll to adjourn, so members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll stand adjourned, and thank you all, and we will look forward to the installation of our new council and swearing in next Tuesday. Thank you.
This one's clap for everybody.